faster you get some sales, the faster it makes it real, and also, you know, creates more momentum. So I think like definitely, you know, season your page, set up some ads, you know, run some content, like do all that 100%. Like I'm not saying don't do it. And like where's some low lying fruit, some people that fuck you, like, you know what, like Sandra, she'd be good at this. She'd love this. Reach out to Sandra. Hey, Sandra, listen, I've just discovered this. I can't really talk about it because I got no fucking idea, but I know it's epic, right? You got to check out this shit. Thanks for the warm welcome and the love, and yeah, great to be here and excited to meet you guys all in person. And who have I actually? I know I've met Kristen, but any of you guys have we met in the flesh?
Can you hear me?
You met Tia. You met Tia and Amy.
And Amy, yes.
Okay. Hi,
in Las Vegas.
Yep, I remember you guys. Okay.
You met Hilda.
Can you hear me on this?
Yeah.
Can you hear me through these? Okay.
Yeah.
They're not sound only. Okay. Thank you.
And Hilda, just so you know too, Hilda is in Sweden, and you met her at the Sweden event.
Oh, epic.
But she's not here right now. It's the middle of the night for her.
Gotcha. Yeah, sweet. Epic. All right. So yeah, I'm excited about those that I haven't met, and seeing you guys and celebrating you in Okinawa in Japan, which is really exciting. And I think it's going to Okinawa was a really we've been a couple. I think I've been maybe 3 times to Okinawa in the last 9 years, and yeah, it's something special about, you know, going there and, you know, learning about Enagic and seeing where Mr. Shiro, the founder, where he grew up, and you get to go to his like house that he actually grew up in. Sort of like you don't live in it, but it's all like a bit of a museum sort of thing. You go there, it's all preserved how it was, and you see like when we were there, we got to meet his. I don't know if he's his mother. Must have been his mother, not his grandmother. I think maybe too old to be his grandmother, but it was his mother because he's like 80, I think 80 something. Yeah. And so his mother was probably over 100. And so in Okinawa, that's pretty standard. It's a blue zone, so people live 100, 120. It's not uncommon. And so that's the cool thing about Enagic is, you know, when you look at a business model and they've been, you know, going for 50 years, Mr. Shiro will probably still be leading the company in another 50 years, you know, like that's normal. And so, and he's also, you know, their legacy, the legacy model that you have within the compensation plan, that's part of like their philosophy and their way of doing business in Japan. And so they, as you guys would have saw who was at the Vegas event, like they're training his son, and his son's some role within the company. I'm not actually sure, but you know, they're training him up to be, you know, the CEO for when Mr. Shiro, you know, passes it on. So it's sort of like a generational thing. So, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it's really great to go there. They've got an Enagic bowling alley. They have an Enagic golf course. They have an Enagic spa. So you can go to this awesome onsen spa, and you know, they've got like Nespers and Kangen water and stuff set up there. They also have like a conference center, and yeah, there's some other cool things. They sponsor like a baseball team in English schools and all this sorts of stuff. So you go there, and Enagic's very present in Okinawa, and it's really cool to go back and connect and see the roots of the company. And they also, when you hit -3, they plant a tree for you. They're like sort of like little bonsai trees, but they plant these trees. So there's this little area just behind the golf course where they have all these little trees. So you walk around and it says like the different ranks and things on them. So I haven't been there since we've had a tree, but we'll now have a tree in our name over there. And so will a lot of you guys within our community, and that'll continue to grow, and they'll have to make more space, and we'll have our own forest over there over the next few years. So that's really cool. So yeah, I would love to just maybe just for you guys just to have a brief share, and maybe just sort of like in a few words, maybe just give us a bit of an idea of like where you're at, or, you know, maybe any questions you have, or where you feel like you need some support. And then I can just vibe off that and yeah, see where the call goes. Rather than me just sharing something, I'd like to see like what's live for you guys right now, and we can go from there.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I would like to ask, how do we connect organically with people and bring them into this business opportunity smoothly, like without being salesy? Like, I work full time, so I'm trying to like optimize my time as much as possible doing this business. So I don't want to, I find it hard going into groups and kind of trying to get to know people for like weeks at a time, and then eventually try to slide in the business opportunity. Like, what is a like efficient, effective, like non-sleazy way of doing that?
Yeah, so for me, I sort of, you know, some people have a different approach where they're like, oh, build a relationship and, you know, back and forth and see where they're from and how they're doing and what's important for them in their life. And just one second. Yeah, mate. Oh, I can't right now. I'm on call. Oh, I can't. Wait. Now.
And since we're a small group, we could just jump in if we have a question, I think.
Yeah. So I think there's like, you know, there's a conversation of, you know, some people like to get to know people a lot and build a relationship, which I think can work, but also too, it's like, you know, I think for me, it feels better to be honest and upfront straight away. So the quicker you can get to that point and say, hey, listen, you know, like I'm actually, you know, framing it in a bit more of a elegant way than what I'm about to say now, but it's like, hey, good to meet you. You know, it's like, I can see we've got some similar interests and, you know, I'm really excited to connect and get to know you. Just so you know, I'm actually, you know, I'm looking for other people that, you know, want to create more freedom in their life. They're, you know, they want to live a healthier lifestyle. You know, they're on a mission to, you know, support other people to do the same, you know, people that are, want to create something different. And so, you know, I have something exciting or something powerful that I've discovered only X ago, you know, insert how long ago prior. And so just wanted to see if you were open to, you know, another way to generate an income, you know, outside of what you're currently doing or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just getting straight to the point rather than fluffing around. For me, that just feels more, it's more honest. It's more, you know, it's more upfront. And, you know, maybe there's some people that won't like it and won't resonate with it, and that's okay. But I think it's sort of, rather than back and forth and just making endless conversation and then going, oh, by the way, like it just sort of feels a bit off, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm totally with you. So I think like the quicker that you can get to the why you're actually connecting with them, then the better that sort of feels.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah. So I think like, you know, don't worry about like the whole you know, sometimes people might think that's spammy or whatever, and I think it's like, it's not really. Like I used to work for this guy, and he did speaker training, and so he built his business to 6 figures plus by this approach, just reaching out to people, but it was direct with a message, and it was something along the lines of like, hey, you know, I noticed that you're a X, you know, fill in the blank, personal trainer. You know, like we've discovered that, you know, speaking can be a really, really powerful way to get your message out as a personal trainer. And so we've created a system that, you know, supports people that are personal trainers to learn the art of speaking and putting together a well-crafted presentation. And so, just curious if this is something you'd be open to. If you are, we have a workshop coming up in your town. It's just $49. And if you are, let me know and I can send you some more information. Boom. And we just send it out all day to different people. Some people would never respond. Some people would respond, and, more people wouldn't respond than would, but the people that would, they're like, yeah, that's me. I like that. Okay, cool. And even like I received that message at a time, how I actually discovered this guy. It wasn't through him directly, but it was someone who'd been to his workshop and he offered like a referral incentive. And I'd had this situation where I opened up I had a gym and I was a personal trainer, and we opened up a gym. And so I had a business partner, and it was his crazy idea. Thought it'd be a great idea if we all just said a few words at this opening party we were having for our gym. So we invited our friends and family and clients and our trainers and everything at this event. There was about 80 people there. It was our opening party for our gym. It was called Ultimate Body Transformations. And so I was doing this talk. I was terrified, petrified, didn't sleep a couple of days prior. I wrote out a couple of notes of some things that I wanted to share. And so I also had a couple of beers. I thought that might have helped with the nerves. It didn't. I think it made it worse. And I got up to share this speech that I'd somewhat prepared. The words didn't come out of my mouth. I couldn't speak. I was just choking up. I was so terrified. And I remember looking out, and I remember it was my business partner's wife. And I just remember looking at her, and she was like, oh, she just like, you could tell she just felt sorry for me. She's like, oh, Clint. She was like, oh. And so I actually just had to walk off the stage, and I was like, okay, thanks guys. And I just walked off, and it was so embarrassing. It was one of the worst moments of my life. Right. But after that, I was like, fuck, I need to do something about this whole speaking thing. And then literally that same week, I get this inbox of that scripted message about speaking. I'm like, thank God. Yes. Take my money. Where's this thing at? And so you just never know. So that's the prime example of, someone messaging at the right time. And, they would have sent a lot of messages in between when no one responded and things like that. But then you get someone like me that then became like a client, a repeat client. I referred many people to him. I worked for him for a little bit. So you never know that message that you're sending out could be someone that, comes in and blows up the business. So it's a bit of a numbers game and a strategy, but it definitely works. But it was just straight up direct asking for the sale. So it's sort of like giving them a little bit, like you wouldn't go, here's the webinar, here's the products, here's everything, but just sort of giving them a bit of a teaser. So then they have to respond, and then you can then go into a conversation, send them more information and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question what I think is related to that. This is Tia. I'm 2A doing an ads right now. So do you feel, or do you think you have something what have been for sure, or sentence or segment what you say, what tips the leads over from I don't know, I don't know if I should, to yeah, sure, I'm in.
So what was that? Sorry, it was
so do you have like some or sentence or segment or what have tipped the leads over from, oh, I'm not sure, to all the way, yes, I'm in now?
At what stage are you talking about with the lead?
Well, after they have watched the webinar, after have sent some extra info, and then say 98% of them usually like disappear or don't get back to you, and I'm still sending them messages, and though I don't know what else to say. Like, do you feel like you have something what is always like helped?
Yeah. So basically you're talking about people that go cold. It's like they
say come back if I really go, if those messages like, hey, if you don't come back to me, I'm just letting you go.
Yeah.
Say do come back, then that's really good tip, but like how you handle that?
Yeah, so there's no one way, and I think it's like they're always great opportunities just to try different things. So some things that I've used over the past that have worked. There's this GIF it's like it's a skeleton sitting on a park bench, and so you send them the GIF and you say, "Me waiting for you to get back to me."
Okay.
Right. Or, you know, like, or you know, actually taking action on creating the life of your dreams or something like that. So it's sort of, it's funny, it's light, and it's different, you know. You can also do the takeaway close, like you've said. Hey, listen, you know, like, I'm not gonna continue to follow you up. You know, either you want it or you don't. So, you know, if you want it, let's have a conversation. And if you don't, that's cool. But just either let me know, and if you don't get back to me, I'm going to assume that you don't want it, and then just move on. There's that. I don't actually, for me, I don't really like that so much. Depend on the situation. But one that really works extremely well, which I love, is it's called like the feedback. Asking for feedback, and it goes something like this: is like, hey, you know, insert their name, hoping you can help me out. So I haven't heard back from you, and that's okay. I'm not writing to you to follow you up. I'm just hoping you can help me out with some feedback. Obviously, I've dropped the ball along the way, and so just curious. I'm always looking at ways that I can improve and you know, sharpen my craft. And so I would just appreciate some feedback and where I went wrong, and so I can improve for next time. So it's a real humble approach, you know. So you'd say that to some people, like, I didn't fucking do anything wrong. Why would I write that? It's like, I know you didn't do anything wrong, right? But it's just, it's being very humble. And so then it just shifts the energy. It goes from like following up, you know, but what it does is it just flips the script a little bit. And so what you find is, because in sales, it's like the quicker you can get to the truth of the situation, because, you know, people sort of feel followed up, or, you know, they feel this sort of sales pressure. So oftentimes they'll lie, or they just won't respond because something's going on. They don't want to offend you, you know, they don't want you to follow up again or whatever. So, and this happens through unwarranted sales resistance. So a lot of sales language, a lot of pressure, a lot of like trying to get yeses in a sales scenario. And you hear a lot of sales trainers, they're like, get as many yeses as you can, and then when you ask for the sale, they'll say yes automatically. It's like, really? It's like, if someone fucking wants it, they'll say yes. It's like, just because you've said yes 10 times prior doesn't mean they're going to automatically say yes and give you 10 grand. Like, it just doesn't really feel good to me. And so the more we can be really soft and honest, the more we can be like, just honest, and, you know, checking in where they're at, and if it's something that they want to move forward with. And so this approach, it's just you're curious to see, and actually genuinely asking for feedback. So you need to be prepared for some feedback, you know, for one, but also too, what you'll find is most people are like, oh, nah, listen, sorry, it's not you, it's me. You know, like, I've been busy with the kids. I went away for a week. I've just had coronavirus. You know, I've been sick for the last 10 days. So sorry, I haven't got back to you. Like, it's not you. But listen, just give me like a couple of weeks, or actually, I'm really not interested right now, or actually I'm ready to get started, but give me like another week, and then can we go from there? So it sort of just shifts the energy a little bit. So whenever I've shared that with people and they've tried it, it generally works quite well. And then just get creative, like try different things, you know, just do something different. And, you know, it's just a matter of sort of getting a response from people and being different.
I have a question.
Go on.
Do you, in the beginning, when you were like 2A, do you remember? Way back then?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I'm just curious, like, do you remember what it was that really got momentum for you, where you started catapulting yourself forward into the next levels? You know, you're kind of going along, and then were there a few specific things that you specifically remember were the thing that really got the ball rolling?
I think like, what I remember back then was just being like really genuinely excited about like what's actually possible. And so then, showing up and taking action from that place. And I don't know, like I sort of feel like I got lucky with my Enagic business. So my the first person I got started, which actually she got started the day after I got started. And she actually said yes to buying her products before I even had my products, because I was still trying to get the money together. I wasn't sure how I was going to get the finance. And this person contacted me on LinkedIn because I had my LinkedIn profile already set up for water. I positioned myself as a water guy before I actually discovered Enagic.
Do any of you guys have LinkedIn? Use LinkedIn?
I do, but not for this business.
Oh, I had never
I
even
don't for
thought
this
of that.
business either, but I do hear a lot of people saying that LinkedIn is the next big place.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Interesting.
So yeah, so I had my LinkedIn set up for the water, and so I had this lady just reach out to me, and so we got talking, and so I said, well, how about we catch up and I can show you, this product that I've discovered and the compensation plan. So we went for it was like old school, went for a coffee meeting, and I drew out the compensation plan. I'd watched the video a couple of times, and I was like, I think it's this 1A, and then you get like, I don't know, $300 or something like that. And then I think when you get the third, it's like 700 or something. And then there's this trifecta thingy. I didn't really know what I was talking about. I was just honest. Like, I was like, listen, I haven't even, got my own. I don't know if I told her that piece, but anyway, I got to the end and she's like, holy crap, this is amazing. She's like, I'm in. And I was like, oh, epic. So good. And she goes, where's the office? And I said, it's actually in Sydney. Like, it's only about half an hour from here. She goes, oh my God, how about we go there today and I can get my products today? And I was like, oh, listen, like, it's getting a bit late. Like maybe we should go tomorrow. Because I was like, I don't have my products yet. I'm like, I got to get my money together. So that just put some urgency in me. So we organized to go the next day. So that night I borrowed a bit of money off my mum, my mum, my dad, and my sister to get the down payment to get started. And went back the next day with her to get my products and also her products. So I got my first sale on the first day I was in the business.
Wow.
Which was cool. And then
Wow.
I guess, yeah. And I guess I just said, okay, cool, let's work together. So we worked together. She brought in a few sales within her first month, a couple of trifectas, maybe. I can't remember exactly. And then it must have been about 30 days later, I sold my 3A sale. And that was Martin Ball, who's, still in the community.
Oh,
Pure Kangan water guy. Yeah, he was my second sale, my 3A sale. And I just think like the excitement about it, the possibilities of it, and also just being open to just do whatever you can, do whatever you have to, and just following like the inspiration as it comes. And yeah, and I think it's, like all the way we do it now with the online space, building a personal brand, running paid traffic and all that sort of stuff is epic. And I think also too, it's something that sometimes can take a bit of time. It's like it can, like setting up an ad, you got to season it. Then you got to run your ad, got to get it approved. Then you got to generate leads. Then you got to talk to those leads. Or you have some sort of sales, strategy or system, and it just can take a bit of time. Like, I don't want to limit people, but it can take a little bit of time. But you might have some people that are in your direct network that you could reach out to straight away and get some runs on the board, So it's like, I think in those early days is like just whatever you can, because the faster you get some sales, the faster it makes it real, and also, you know, creates more momentum. So I think like definitely, you know, season your page, set up some ads, you know, run some content, like do all that 100%. Like I'm not saying don't do it. And like where's some low lying fruit, some people that fucking like, you know what, like Sandra, she'd be good at this. She'd love this. Reach out to Sandra. Hey, Sandra, listen, I've just discovered this. I can't really talk about it because I got no fucking idea, but I know it's epic, right? You got to check out this shit. You got to watch this webinar, check it out, right? Do you see what I see? You know, and send it to them. And I think that's a powerful thing to say, is like, listen, this is for people, you know, I've just discovered this thing. I've just gotten started with it. Can I send you something? I'm just curious to see if you see what I see, you know, because you see something, you've got started, you trusted, back yourself. And so it's just like, you know, a question to someone in your network is like, do you see what I see? And, you know, the answer might be yes, the answer might be no after they watch it. And if they don't, cool, it's not for them. And if it is, like, fuck yeah, what did you see? It's like, well, I see a way for us to create wealth and travel and be free and escape the 9 to 5 or whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, that's what I saw as well. Epic. Like, how do you feel about getting started? They're like, okay, cool. What's the next step? You know? So I think in the early days, it's like just using that excitement, and it's that, that energy that then transfers to someone else.
Awesome.
Clint, I have another
Thank you.
question.
You're welcome. You can't, it's
Can I
only
ask
one,
another
it's only one question per person. That's it.
So Kathleen here and I, we've just combined together, and we're running Kate and Wheezy online marketing together. And we have like huge momentum. We have an ad running. We got people coming to us. And we always get to the point where they have to go into the freedom era. And it's like, as soon as they see the $49, they're like, $49. Like, it's like I'm asking them for the moon. Like, I know that once they get in the freedom era, they will change their mindset, and we have to get them away from the employee mindset, change all of that. But what do you do to actually get people to take a look? And my second part of the question is, this is just an idea I had, because I think the feedback I'm getting is when they see the $49 and then they see there's monthly payments of $99, which I love the fact that we're upfront and open and honest. But like, I don't know, I'm just thinking, like, is there some way we could say it's $49, and then when they have their discovery call, then the DBS person could tell them that there's actually monthly payments, because at that point they've already watched the discovery process and have started changing some of their mindset and their limiting beliefs. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Sorry. I got the kids there. They come in and say goodbye. They're banging on the door, and then they, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
So the question is like, how do you express the value in the $49 and the monthly ongoing $99?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. Just let me, I'm just going to pour I got some Kangen water, or Kangen water, I should say. I put a reel up the other day, and I said Kangen water, and someone said, listen, if you're going to talk about the water, right, at least say the right name. It's Kangen water. And I was like, all right, sorry about that. So Kangen water.
Then.
Sorry about that. So I got some Kangen water with some lemon and a bit of salt. And so I do have, coming back from Sweden, and we went to Ibiza for a few days. So I'm a little bit, my body doesn't know what the fucking time it is. So I'm feeling a little bit run down, and but I'm on the up. And so I'm just going to have a sip of water. And so, yeah, I feel like it's just, yeah, I think it would probably come to like down to a real value stack. You know, how can you stack the value of the platform? And like $49 is nothing.
I know.
Like it's a freaking drop in the ocean to what they actually receive. And even $99 a month is still for what's actually received from that, even just in terms of the education.
Yeah.
Like you could, like, I've been in masterminds where you're paying several $1,000s a month, and the education, maybe it's just as good or on par, or maybe a little bit better. You might have a little bit of more, one-on-one interaction, but what you get for actually $99 is it's cheap. And so, but how do you express and reiterate that value? So when people are, they're seeing it as a way that they're really investing into themselves. So what's some things, and it's not like, if you look at just the features of the platform, so it's like, okay, cool. There's weekly masterclasses. There's there's courses. There's, we have a Monday night huddle, like all that sort of stuff is like, so what? Like, well, like, do you know what I mean? It's just a feature. It's like, it's not that exciting, right? But what's the value that they're receiving from those things? So, you'll, and just to sort of make something up here. And I think, really think about like your target audience. Actually, let me ask, like, who's the people that you're talking to?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like corporate women, professionals, teachers. Like, it's not like you would think they would have $49 to spend to get into the platform.
So the thing is, they have $49 to spend, but if they're saying that they don't, or it's more like they don't have it to spend on that because they don't see the value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So there's many people that I know that have gotten started and have found $99 even when they literally didn't have it. They're like, listen, $99, like, you talk to people that are even successful in this space now, multiple six-figure earners, and they're like, listen, at the start, $99 was huge. Like, I didn't know how I was going to get that together, but they made it happen. And then at the same time, there's also people, and if they're corporate, you never know their situation. Sometimes corporate, they could be, that up to debt, that they don't really have much spare cash flow and so many expenses. So even if someone's making good money, doesn't mean that they have much spare cash flow. So, and then you might find someone that's making not much money, but they got heaps of spare cash flow because they don't have many expenses and they live a more simple lifestyle. So you can't assume just because someone's in corporate that they do have money. However, they also have the ability to make it happen. And if they see the value, then they, will be more inclined to actually, take the leap and pull the trigger. So how can you like position it and express it in a way? And if you're talking to corporate people, like, what's their pain points? Why do they want to, like, why would they want to?
They have no time. They're working, they're trading their time for money in a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. Okay. So for example, is like, you could say something like, learn the, part of the platform membership is you get to learn from entrepreneurs who have time and financial freedom, and understand their different mindset hacks, how they view the world, how they've been able to create time and financial freedom. And they're going to be teaching that directly to you every week through masterclasses, through huddles, online trainings, through online courses, etc. So it's instead of just like, there's online courses and trainings, etc. It's like, how can you link it to their specific problems? And, so they're like, oh, okay, cool. Time and financial freedom. That's what I want. Learning from other people that have created that, mindset tricks and hacks and strategies and etc. could be something that would speak directly to them. And then if you're talking to someone that's like, they say someone's a bit more of a, like, they're a spiritual healer or something like that, is like, learn the embodiment practices of, 6 and 7 figure earners, of how they've been able to, still stay in alignment with their values of spirituality and create a badass money online and, travel the world, go into retreats. And they're giving you these training and tips and tricks and strategies and courses and all of these sorts of trainings which teach you how you can create the same, all for just $99 a month. So the more you can like value, like when yeah, like when we used to do like webinars back in the day, I'm not sure, everyone's doing their own sort of different styles of webinars and things. We would have so much value, and it stacked the value. So I was like, man, this is like 10 grand worth of value, and you get it for $49. You know what I mean? How can you reiterate so much value in a way that's not just this training, that training, that training? Is like what are they actually receiving from, you know, experiencing those trainings? And yeah, you can get access to this all for $49, right? And then that doesn't include the sales funnels, you know, the all that sort of stuff that they can tap into as well. So it's just sort of like painting a picture. So when they see it, they're like, holy shit, that's such value.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
I've thought of it, TFE in my mind, kind of like a university. And you know, if I want to learn a skill or a profession or a trade, I might want to, you know, if I don't know it in my own mind, this is the way that I've thought of it. Because all the learning is there. If I want to be an engineer, I'm going to go to a university, or a therapist. If I want to learn digital marketing, I'm going to go to this type of university. And
I like that.
I don't know, it's made sense. It's made sense to me and a couple people that I've shared that with. It kind of resonates. It's school. It's our school.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. It's good. And, you know, if you look at a university, like I didn't go to university, but from people that I know have been there, it costs tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, and it's like, you can get this for $99 a month. And although it's not a university degree, it's going to teach you the skill sets of becoming an entrepreneur. And so, yeah, it is. It's like it is a university in that sense. And so realistically, and sometimes people they need to be told. They're like, oh, that's too much. But then you just flip it and say, listen, this is what you get. It's actually really good value when you look at it from this perspective. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even think of that, you know? So sometimes people just need a bit of a, you know, a slap around the face. And they're like, oh, actually, I didn't think of that, you know? So sometimes it's just being direct and sharing with them a different perspective. And even if they say they might say something like, yeah, it's $49, like it's actually a lot of money. It's like, listen, are you open to a different perspective around that? Yeah, sure. Okay, listen, you know, and then sharing some of the points that we've shared and, you know, adding value. And if you view it from this way, it's really nothing. If this $49 could be the ticket, and yes, it's a monthly fee, next month will be $99. If this is something that could give you the skill sets, the mindset, be part of a community of other people that have, you know, created a life of freedom, prosperity, you know, adventure, and they're living a courageous life. If this could educate you so you could too start, you know, taking big, bold steps in the direction of your dreams, would that be something that would be worth $49? And if they say no to that, then maybe they're not the right person. If they say yes to that, say, cool, well, you know, how can we support you to get your $49 together? And you got 14 days to check it out, trial it, you get your money back. There's all those so it's sort of like stack value. They see the value. And by the way, if you don't like it, 14 days, you get your money back. So realistically, there's no risk. Yeah.
Sitting here watching the clock, I'm struggling, thinking of the bullshit that I've been juggling. Is there more to life than this? I'm thinking twice.